What up, Half-Bloods? Cassie here, your resident podcast editor, coming on here really quick to acknowledge the fact that audio in this episode really just is not it. We had some technical difficulties that maybe if you are an audio snob like I am, it'll make it kind of hard to listen to, or maybe you will be like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Either way, so sorry, and I promise next week we will be back with the quality you deserve.
Welcome, Half-Bloods, to the Half-Blood Pod. We're your hosts, Scott and William.
What's up?
Today, we're going to talk about Victor Wembanyama and how he's the greatest basketball player to ever be on the planet.
40, 15, and 3. 3 is a lie. He definitely had more than 3 blocks. I don't think they calculate them correctly. Just my thought.
Would Hagrid make Victor look tiny?
I think he would. He would be at least a foot taller.
I mean, is Hagrid 10 feet tall? Like, how tall is
I mean,
Hagrid?
if a giant is 18 to 22 feet, Hagrid, and they describe Hagrid as twice the size of a normal man would be like 5'10", or 6 feet, 12 feet. No problem. Hagrid could be, which again, they would kidnap him. The government would get him and study him and disappear him. There's no way.
Agreed.
They would just let him walk around. They'd be like, you are different. We're going to test you. Your blood.
He'd be like Bean in Ender's Game.
Exactly.
I don't really remember that second book all that well, but I'd like to.
You mean Ender's Shadow?
Ender's Shadow, yes. Well,
Ender's Shadow is better than Ender's Game.
But Ender's Shadow doesn't exist without Ender's Game.
No, it doesn't. It's just more entertaining because it's from a different point of view, and it's more fleshed out, the story stuff.
All fair.
Details.
Did you make it past the pigs and the trees and all that stuff?
No, I did follow the Shadow series. I did not go through the Ender. I read all the Shadow series though. Bean versus Ashiel. Yeah, those ones are entertaining. I'm not listening to the Pygmalion people and lost interest on that.
Good stuff. There's some good stuff, but most people.
Yeah, there is.
Anyways, we
have
some great
back
Witch
to
Weekly.
Our details.
We have some great Witch Weekly this week, but first, I think we have some fan mail that we'd like.
Yeah, we do have some fan mail. It's from a fan. I mean, fine. She's probably related to me. Lives near Scott. Whatever. My sister Haley. So she sent this to me right now. I have not read it at all, so I'm going to read it out loud now. It's an audio message, but I'm going to read the transcript, and she knows I don't like audio messages. So let me pull it over here so it looks like I'm looking at the right screen. Okay. Sorry, I'm driving, so you're getting it on audio message, and I know you hate them. You can read the transcript if you want, but here's the question I have, and if you've answered, I apologize. I feel like I've listened to most of them. Maybe discuss this. Okay. Because I was listening to your MJ Harry debate, by the way, in the transcript from Apple, it says Harry is Hairy. Your MJ Harry debate, and someone says, I don't know who witnessed his murder for the first time with I'm struggling, and so then I can see the rules. My question has always been, did he not see his parents die? He was like a baby, but you have to remember the death and see the Astros. I feel like this is just a question. I'm reading this verbatim. Apple does not transcribe perfectly.
I think we get the gist of the question, right? She's clearly talking about thestrals, even though that word is not captured by Apple, which is very disappointing by Apple.
Yeah. But, embarrassing. Get better. I have just because you're not aware that you just watch your parents die, if you still just want your parents, at least his mom was in the room, his little baby, I guess, unless he was asleep. And I guess I don't want to have you be fully awake, conscious counts. I mean, throughout the world for having his parents murdered in front of him. And that doesn't count to see a thestral. I don't know. You could tell me. That's why I'm asking, and listening to your podcast is difficult sometimes because I listen to some podcasts And I think, I don't know you, so I'm just going to listen to you talk. But I know you, so I want to ask you questions and be like, but or why or explain. And I can't because you recorded it 2 weeks ago. Life is hard. Okay, have a great evening. Just driving back from the temple. Bye.
Amazing. I feel like the second half of the transcription got better. They picked up Thestral.
I guess we could put the full audio in post.
Do we need her permission? Part of my take style. You're live on
She's my sister. That means I basically own her. She's my younger sister. So
she's younger. Yeah. I feel like this has been debated much. I feel like she already made a lot of the points, but like this was asked to J.K. Rowling specifically, right? And Harry also has the opportunity to see a Thestral after Cedric's death when he leaves Hogwarts, right? He leaves on horseless carriage and then doesn't see them, and then of course sees them in the 5th book. And I think the prevailing theory is that you have to process death in order to see a Thestral, and you can't process death as a baby. He doesn't really have that memory. He kind of does, but not really. And he hadn't processed Cedric's death at this point. What does process mean? I don't know, but.
Yeah, I always thought of it like, and well, there's 2 things here. One, obviously, we'll give one credence to one line of thought is maybe she literally just didn't invent the Thestral until she wrote the 5th book. Possible. I don't think so. I think she had so many other things planned out that I think she had an idea for like what these things were. So by the time she wrote the 4th, I think she'd already had enough. Is my guess, right?
I agree.
But yeah, I think it is about processing because, like, obviously, like, even when he was a baby, like, those deaths affected his life and, like, became a huge part of his life. But, like, he wasn't emotionally, like, feeling them the same way he felt Cedric or Sirius or whatever, because he didn't actually really know his parents. He was a 1-year-old. So he can feel sad about it later and he can remember flashes of green light, but it didn't wash over him the same. Like he didn't internalize it. He didn't feel it. So same thing with Cedric's death. I think that it was also fresh and raw, that it just didn't like process until he had kind of like gone through the stages of grief, you know?
I agree.
And accept it. I don't think it was like, it's a magical world, so it doesn't have to be like a magic switch. Like I saw death, therefore I immediately see a Thestral. It's something you probably have to like pause, think about, like let it affect you and internalize it somehow.
I mean, this is kind of like the opposite debate. Should we get into abortion and when does a spirit enter the body? It's basically the same thing on the flip side. No one really knows when. So,
Yeah, we'll do that right after we do our 7-part series on the history of the Holy Land in Palestine. So everyone's dying for those thoughts too.
Agreed. We'll see if that makes the cut. No, great question. Haley, text us, voice memo, all your questions.
Yeah, I'm definitely I'm gonna somehow download it and send it to y'all and make sure that we can, if we want, cut it up and listen to it.
But the only fan mail or feedback I get is also from my sister. She, however, is older, so I'm not sure I have the same ownership over that you do. I asked her if she would like to come on the pod, really as like an invitation of like, hey, you love Harry Potter. You think about it as much as I do. Is it offensive if I don't invite you? And she was like, I do not want to be on your pod, but I could, write in and give some suggestions occasionally. I was like, that'd be great.
I do not want to be. But yeah, so I mean, that's a common one. And like I said, I think the most interesting part about Haley's question is that like, because like people have talked about, like, I think the most interesting part to think of is like, hey, did she just not think of it until the 5th book, or was it deeper than that? I think it was deeper than that. I think there's plenty of things that you can just be like the head boy and head girl thing. Harry's dad and mom were head boy, head girl. That was just a throwaway line. She wrote it in the 1st book when she hadn't really thought about this stuff that deeply. But I think, as evidenced by Horcruxes and all this a million other things, by the time she finished the 4th book and that one was turned in and printed and out to the world, I think she had already planned ahead for something like Thestrals. It was already
I agree.
Deep in it.
I agree. I mean, people, I do think, bring it up to be like, plot hole, I found one, and that's fine. But I agree. It could be, and it's not a huge one to me, and I don't care. And I actually don't think it is. And Yeah. Also, on the head boy, head girl, I feel like, yeah, probably. I think that is a throwaway line that she didn't think all the way through. But also,
Yeah.
I feel like we can blame that fully on Hagrid, as Hagrid being a throwaway line, and Lily was head girl, and he just kind of threw James in there because Hagrid's he just says things, and he doesn't
Yeah.
speak great English, and I'm totally okay.
Not too smart. Yeah.
No.
So, yeah, that was the Thestral question. Which, I mean, we'll have to dive in. Maybe we'll do a beast series one time and talk about beasts more, because Thestrals are fascinating creatures.
Pick one from each book. We'll do a 7-part series. I'm in. All our fans,
Foreshadow.
just let us know. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you'd like us to do next. We're going to finish the 7-part series and do another 7-part series. Great stuff. Well, we actually do have some Witch Weeklies. And it's not Victor Wembanyama. It's actually...
Although if he existed back in the time, they might accuse him of being a witch because he's freakishly tall and talented.
Or a giant, yes. That's a good point. No, our real news is the FBI scandal of betting on NBA games. Okay. It's also not that, but there is a lot of NBA stuff happening right now. Very exciting that it's back. I do have one question for you though, William. Like, who would have to be caught in a gambling scandal to be as big as
Ludo Bagman?
Ludo Bagman being in a government official who's technically over all sports and games is trying to fix sports and games. Like, do we have? I mean, that's like Roger Goodell. That's like Adam Silver fixing games. I don't think it is.
Well, if you ask some people, they think Goodell, does, right? Like the Chiefs and all that stuff, right?
Good point.
Yeah, that's right.
So who's betting?
For his own betting, yeah.
Just doing it for his own personal betting.
That's true. So that really, I guess the closest thing in real life we have would be Pete Rose, right? He was a manager of the Cincinnati Reds and gambled on his own team. The problem is, actually, in some ways, it's kind of like Tim Donaghy. Tim Donaghy bet on his games that he was officiating, and Ludo was a judge in
You're right.
So, but Donaghy was like just a rank and file ref, and also like not to get too far into that, but he's a total scumbag, and you also can't really believe a lot of what he says. It's very murky, right? But what would be? I mean, it would be kind of like, because we don't have like a government who like appointed minister who's like the minister of sport, which the sports czar. I mean, Bill Simmons has talked about all the time,
exactly.
right?
We need a sports czar, exactly.
We need a sports czar so that they can tell people like, no, the NCAA tournament does not need to expand to 84 teams or whatever stupid number they want to do. It's fine the way it is. Stop. You already added 68, and that's kind of dumb anyway. Leave it alone. Just 64. Don't ever freaking change it. We also don't need more college football teams. We don't need a 2014 college football playoff. Right?
It's all about them ducats.
But yeah, I would say, the closest it would be, it'd be like if Goodell literally got caught fixing matches. Or more likely, Adam Silver, probably. I think Adam Silver would be more likely to fix a match than.
I feel like, really? I feel like Adam Silver is. You think he's just undercover freaky deaky? I feel like, okay, freaky deaky is not the word I wanted to use, but like Adam Silver is just like a, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what he wants you to think. But guess what? As Wendy said today, they definitely knew that Terry Rozier had done a bunch of stuff, and then they like quietly swept it under the rug and then let him keep playing. And they knew what he did. Adam Silver his hands are dirty. And you know what? And he's going to do the same thing with the stupid Kawhi thing. He's not going to do anything about it. He's toothless and he's a puppet of someone. I just don't know who. The owners, I guess. David Stern from Beyond. Now, Stern wouldn't stand for any of this stuff.
I feel like Stern would fix a game before Adam Silver would. I feel like Stern would do anything.
That's true. Go watch the 2002 Western Conference Finals. I don't know how else you could watch that.
2006 NBA Finals. There's a couple.
The Western Conference, the 02 was worse than 06. 06, you can just kind of talk about like that's just ineptitude. 02 is obscene. It's even worse. But yeah,
we are not a sports podcast, and I apologize.
no matter how much we want to be.
After now our second fake out, this third time is real. William, Witch Weekly, what do we got?
Witch Weekly, there is a whole trove, a whole cauldron full of Witch Weekly items to discuss today. So if you're on Instagram or TikTok or any number of things, there is stuff everywhere just flowing out right now. So a few of them that we went up on, and I'll pull it up so I'm kind of looking down at it right here. They are filming at Malham Cove and Goredale Scar, which is like this rocky cliff place in England overlooking some green hills. And it looks like there's like wizards pointing their wands out into the sky. And this is over a completely like rural area. There's nothing there, right? So we have no idea like what specifically they're doing, but allegedly is what in the description it says a witch casting a spell into the air, and speculation celebrating the fall of Lord Voldemort. Maybe. Okay. Second one, someone named Rachel Wooding has been cast in an unknown role, and we'll put up a picture or something, but she's wearing like the see-through plastic like bonnet that looks like Mrs. Fig from the movies, which part of me hopes that's not Mrs. Fig, because doing it like exactly like that in the movie would be kind of silly.
I don't remember Fig in the movie at all. That is just a complete blank. I was picturing like the chapter art, which I think has her wearing a little something too, but am I picturing the chapter art? I don't even know what I'm picturing. I need to rethink. I don't remember her from the movie at all. Not one.
That's some who's been cast, I guess. So Rachel Wooding. And then there's people, they're filming in Skipton, somewhere called Skipton, and there's a wizard on top of a chimney casting a spell.
I didn't see that one. So,
yeah.
I feel like I'm excited for a couple of reasons. One is that they're like trying so hard in terms of like things that I don't understand, but like they're not filming all of this on a green screen or in one studio. They're like going to places.
Yeah.
And to me, again, I don't know really anything about movies, but like, you know, we've already talked at length about like how much we love like Lord of the Rings and like watching the behind the scenes and how they would just build entire cities. And as a 11-year-old, I've never seen anything like that. And I know that has been repeated many times, but it feels like it's much more of this Lord of the Rings crew. We're just building everything. We're amazing. We're not filming in studios. And
yeah, they're going all out.
Very exciting. Yeah.
Because like they could do so much of this like on a green screen, right? And obviously like they can add, you know, sparks and whatever, like fireworks and stuff from CGI because they have to for a lot of things on magic. But they're going all out. Like there's so many practical sets. Like they're just out and about in the real world filming stuff. And like, don't you think this looks like small things? Like this isn't like some long scene where like they're spending a lot of time and like all the actors are there. Like it's like random people that don't matter. And they're just filming like, hey, we drove all the way out to the middle of nowhere. Exactly. We're going to film this thing happening. You know, same thing with like the other week, like Dumbledore was on a beach with Flamel probably. We're like, why? I don't know. But they chose to do it there. They could have done it on a green screen. They could have done it on a number of things, but they went to a physical location. So the hype meter, I mean, it goes up all the time.
It does.
I can't help myself. I can't stop.
If you would have told me
it's a problem
a month ago, yeah, I wouldn't have believed you at all. I was like, I don't really, like this is going to be fine. I've already talked myself into way too high expectations, but I haven't. And they're trying and they care, and that's all we're asking for.
Yeah, they definitely do. It's amazing. So, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff, and I'll send the links to you so we can put them in the show notes or whatever. But there's just so much stuff. They're out and about doing practical things. They're just small scenes, and I think it's exactly what we kind of talked about. Like all this stuff that like is described but not specifically shown. Like they're doing a lot of that, and that's going to be fantastic.
And casting, if this is Miss Fig,
she looks significantly younger than like the lady in the movie, but that just could be blonde hair.
Your knowledge of the movie is confusing me. I don't know why you
don't remember. She was in the fifth movie, and she was like could barely talk. She was like, "Don't put your wand away, boy." And she like whispered, like, "Don't put your wand away, boy. Haven't I told you I can't do magic?"
This is like rewriting Aunt May. Is like, why is Aunt May so freaking old? Like, she should be the age of Peter's mom, not Peter's grandma.
Yeah, that's why I made Marissa Tomei and make her attractive.
Exactly. Why is she this almost dead grandma? But if they're introducing her in season 1, that again, it's all the same things you just said. Like, they're not skipping a beat. They're going to show Mrs. Fig being a part of their lives, which is only like 2 sentences in the first book. They're trying. They're trying.
Heck yeah. So yeah, it's exciting times. Every week there's just more stuff coming out, and we'll talk about it every week just for fun. But I hope everyone else out there too is just doom scrolling on their phone and seeing this random stuff of the shows out and about filming in the real world. I'm sure like a lot of Hogwarts will be like sets and stuff like that, but I mean, this is a massive production. This is like in line with. Think about it this way. So let's talk about this for a second. So we both like Rings of Power, right?
Yes, love it.
We do like Rings of Power. Again, I think that like shows you the kind of people we are. That like we're not like not accurate to the book about everything. like we like Rings of Power. Like I know it's not perfect, but we enjoyed it very much, right?
Absolutely.
Like we want to like things. We're not that picky relative, because I know a lot of people like Rings of Power. A lot of people were jerks about it, whatever. But my point is that like sometimes in Rings of Power, the show felt a little CGI-ish heavy.
Yeah.
Right? Like in Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit did the same thing. The Hobbit especially sometimes feels like too CGI.
They went talk about The Hobbit in the same breath as Lord of the Rings. That's offensive.
Right. Well, there's some good parts of The Hobbit, but you know what I mean? I'm talking about visually though. So like my hope is that when I watch this, I'm seeing more Lord of the Rings and less Hobbit, Rings of Power. So like, yes, there's going to be CGI and like expensive, and like you have to have, and CGI is great. Like you can't make this show fully practical. Like that would be impractical, right? And not as cool. But with the amount of things they're just out and about doing in the real world, as opposed to just locked on a soundstage and, where they film all the movies nowadays in England because they left Atlanta. Like I'm super excited about that. I think it'll give me like the Lord of the Rings vibes where like, yeah, there's a ton of CGI in Lord of the Rings, but a lot of the stuff is very real. Like not, it's practical makeup, those kind of things, as opposed to sometimes I feel like Rings of Power, it looks a little too like computerish in certain parts. That's all.
I feel
even though I love it. I love it.
I love that show, especially season 2. Give me as much
season 2 is fantastic.
Sauron as you can.
Oh, that was incredible.
It was. No, I love it. You did remind me. You said we were going to talk about this every week. Just a bit of a notice to our 14 very strong fans is that I will be in Bora Bora next week, and unfortunately,
don't tell them your location. They're going to follow you.
I'm going to be at the Four Seasons Bora Bora. If you can afford and plan to get to Four Seasons Bora Bora in a week, I would love to meet you. You're probably much better off financially than me, and if you are following,
well, this was like a spur of the moment. Don't pretend like it wasn't. Y'all just do this all the time.
Exactly. So anyways, we will not be posting next week, but we will be right back the week after and doing part 6 of our 7-part series that we are.
Heck yeah.
And today we're on part 5, and we will be going through an object heavily featured in book 5, and that is the Room of Requirement, which is also introduced in book 5. the room of
And
requirement.
it's very much not an object, but screw you.
Not an object.
It's super cool.
It doesn't matter.
And we wanted it in part of this.
It brings a lot of objects. It can summon many objects, so we're counting it. It was that or doing, I don't know, the Elder Wand or a port key.
Which is just boring, to be honest.
Yes. This is way cooler. All right, William, I'll get us started, and in the middle, I'll throw you a trivia question, and then I'll let you bathe us in your knowledge.
Do it Lars.
Okay. What is the Room of Requirement? The Room of Requirement is a magical room on the 7th floor of Hogwarts Castle. The Room of Requirement appears when students or any person were in particular need of it and would provide whatever was required. The room was accessed by walking past the stretch of wall 3 times, concentrating hard on what one needs. Before I do the trivia question, I like to do, who's the creator of it? Who's the inventor of it? What do we think about the origin of the Room of Requirement? Was there so much magic in one place that this room was magically created, like Peeves or like some other things that just kind of happened because of magic? Or did one of the founders create it? Did all of the founders put their incredible thoughts together and create this room? I don't think there's an answer. If there is, I'm embarrassed my research didn't find it. But William, what do you think?
No, I don't think there is not an answer that I'm aware of. But I've always imagined it as like an invention of one of the founders, kind of like the Chamber of Secrets. Or I think also, if you think about Hogwarts, like before it became so established, like whoever like the following heads of the headmasters and headmistresses are, like they would probably be adding on to the castle and like doing stuff. Cause like there's no way the castle was like built as it was and never expanded, moved. Like it's going to get altered and changed around. You know what I mean? So maybe there was like some headmaster in like the 1200s who was just like a absolute witch with headmistress who was like just amazing at transfiguration and charms and was like, I have this sick idea. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to build this Room of Requirement, right? Or it was like, Rowena Ravenclaw's idea, and she pulled it off.
No, we're going to give credit to Helga Hufflepuff. Godric gets the lion's share of the hat. Obviously, Salazar's got his own secret chamber. Ravenclaw, I don't know, has her diadem, I guess. Helga has nothing. Helga has literally nothing cool that she has given to the world.
That supposedly has magical powers.
Great. I would love to learn about them. I would love to learn anything about Helga, who I'll take.
What do you think Hufflepuff would give powers to her cup? Like, it just makes you kind. Like, if you drink out of it, you're just nice to people.
Maybe it takes the calories out of your drink, so you can drink soda.
Or she was known to be a good cook, right? I think that's some expanded knowledge stuff.
Yes.
Maybe it would like if you drink from the cup, it like sucks away your bigotry and hatred. And she could never quite trick Slytherin into drinking out of it.
Well, I feel like the Room of Requirement kind of fits Helga's MO, right? We're like, I'll take the lot, I'll take anything that you can give me. Also, here's a room that will give you anything that you need. I think it was Helga.
It could be. Yeah. Or it could be a team project too, right?
Do you think it is possible, that it was created by magic itself? Like the need for something was so great that magic just answered the call and it came to fruition. It just invented itself.
Kind of like the house in Encanto. Like it just has the spirit of Abuelo Pedro, and that's definitely what the house is, by the way. It's Abuelo. It's Pedro with living. He is the house. That's what the house is. Who died to save them. Yeah. It's like his spirit is the house. And anyway, so it finds a way. I don't know. I like it could. It's a magical world, right? Like it's kind of like the midichlorians giving birth to Anakin in that sense. Like if that's what that is. Yeah. like the Force willed it to be so it just happened.
Yeah.
But
You've
it did
expanded
much
my magical
better.
horizons. I feel like re-listening to the pod that we did, and you talked about like why couldn't death be real. I really enjoyed re-listening to that, which is embarrassing that I really enjoy listening to my own podcast, but I really enjoyed that and really.
Yeah, but we do because guys, we're amazing. We
every
love
time
our
I
own
listen
voices.
to a podcast, I'm like, these guys are geniuses. They're saying everything I'm thinking, and
I know
it literally is. But anyways, you've expanded my horizons. So, okay. Without further ado, we haven't had an ad for the much-needed book-only ultimate unofficial Harry Potter trivia game. And to continue to expand the room of requirement, I'm going to ask a level 5 question to you, William. And that question is, name 7 forms that the room of requirement has taken.
Let's think. There's the DADA, Dumbledore's army.
Of course.
Spot.
That is its most used, second most used, yes.
Yeah, then there's like the Room of Hidden Things to hide contraband. Hour 2, there's the hideout in book 7. I guess the tunnel doesn't count because that's like a part of that hideout.
In the answer, I put hideout for rebels apostrophe or parenthesis, including passageway out of Hogwarts, because yes, it is like a dual function for a bit, but yes, one answer.
Let's see. A magnificent collection of chamber pots.
Beautifully proportioned room. I would really love to see that. Yes, that's 4.
Yeah. Also, nice to use it as chamber pots. Great use of the word chamber pots.
Chamber pots only shows up twice, and it's when Dumbledore says it, and then Harry repeating that. No other time do they use the word chamber pots. They use, bathroom or loot. I don't know what else they use, but a girl's toilet. So, anyways,
the toilet. It turns into a broom closet once when they tried to hide. Fred and George tried to hide once.
Correct.
They were hiding from Filch, and it just like turned into one.
2 more.
I get what Malfoy used it for. Is it the same thing? It was like a room specific. Well, Malfoy used it as a room to like repair the.
Yes,
the
but
thing,
he calls
the cabinet.
That is where he stays, because that's where, 1, he says that to Harry. He's like, I basically lived in the Room of Hidden Things last year. And 2, Trelawney tries to get in and he throws her out. He is in there. That's where he is fixing it. It is not like a workshop. Like
Mr. Filch has used it to get like supplies. House elves have also used it to get things as well. To get extra supplies or
an elf nursing
station.
Oh
yeah. That's right. Yeah, they use it. Yeah, for that.
That's it.
Am I at 7 yet? I feel like I'm at 7.
Congratulations. Yes, those are the 7 known forms of the room of requirement. And you hit them all. I kind of listed out who's the leader of each of those things. I feel like you listed almost every single one. Again, some of the fun stats that we like to do is I counted that the room of requirement is referenced 93 times throughout the 7 books. Only 67 times can you look up room of requirement, but then room or headquarters or something else, I think, is referred to get us to a total of 93. No one has fact-checked me yet on these 7 book references. I hope someday that someone finds this and then does their own independent study, and we can have a debate. The first mention is technically when Dumbledore talks about it. That's like the first time it's referenced, and that's in book 4, chapter 23 at the Yule Ball, where he says, no one knows. We don't know all the secrets of Hogwarts. Once I found a bathroom and a beautiful collection of chamber pots. Can't find it again. But then the first time we actually get it is book 5, chapter 18, Dumbledore's army, when Dobby gives Harry the idea to use this room. It is most used in book 6, chapter 21, in what is kind of the titular chapter. I can't say that word. But it's called The Unknowable Room. And this is when Harry is trying to get into whatever Malfoy's doing in there. And that is referenced 19 times of him trying to get into that room.
Yeah.
Harry's
Those are some of the toughest like re-listens and rereads. It's like, dude, chill.
But the thing is, he was right. So everyone else
was
can
right.
just screw off.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm going to say this every single pod. There are no accidents. J.K. Rowling doesn't just introduce something idly. The last mention is book 7, chapter 35. So nearly the end, King's Cross. And when Harry is imagining this King's Cross, he's like, is this some sort of giant room of requirement? And of course, chapter 31, they spend almost the entire chapter in the room of requirement as
maybe that's what heaven is.
A giant room of requirement. I like that. You think it, and it is there. So it's heavily involved in the 7th book. It's where the final Horcrux is. It's where Crabbe dies. R.I.P. So William, I've given the high level overview, but give us your deepest, darkest thoughts on this. Not darkest, just deepest.
The room requirement is such a fantastic invention, right? And I think it's like a culmination of it's like the culmination and pinnacle of like all magic in the Harry Potter universe distilled into like one thing, right? Like it's completely it's hidden, so it's a secret, but like a lot of people do know about it more than they realize. Everyone thinks it's like Voldemort thinking he's like the only one who could plumb the secrets of the store. It's just so ridiculous. But that's like the whole point. Is his pride is what is his fault. So it makes sense for him character wise. But I think it's cool because it's like the culmination of all magic. So like, and you learn later on, like, Gamp's law of elemental transfiguration, how like the room has limitations, like magic has limitations. Like this room can do almost anything, but it is within the bounds of the world. So it was like a really cool way to like expand and like lay down like laws of the magical universe of like, magic can affect the physical world, but it also can't just solve every problem ever. That's why kids at Hogwarts still have the colds and stuff. Like magic doesn't solve those problems. The room requirement can't just completely solve any problem, but it can help you. And it's like a friend that, watches. It's just cool because it is like a culmination of all magic, types of magic in all of Harry in the wizarding world, kind of distilled into one physical location that is hugely important to the story. It becomes a massive part of how, think about it. It's like Hogwarts like wanted to fight back. That's Neville's words, right? Like, didn't he say something like that? Like Hogwarts like wanted to fight back. So it created a passageway. It creates new ways. Like it's like a sentient room, like the spirit of the founders watching over them,
the more you say this, the more it is like La Casa and Encanto.
Casita.
No, it is. And she introduces it in book 5. And I feel like that's the right time to introduce it because then it becomes such a centerpiece of the story. And I don't know how other stories change. Like, I don't know if Harry knows about it, like for the Triwizard Tournament, like, does that like change how he prepares for it and things like that? But again, in book 5, it's their headquarters. Then they kind of drop it and don't use it again. Book 6, Malfoy's using it the entire year. And Harry's trying to get in.
In book 5, it showed up when they needed it. They didn't need it before then.
Well said. And then in the 7th book, again, it's a huge centerpiece. It's Voldemort's downfall. It's the final Horcrux. It's it's such a huge player. But it was introduced at the right time. It was kind of the opposite of a time turner. We're like, we introduced it. It's a little too powerful. It's too early. Let's destroy it. It was like, here's this. And it's perfect. And it's going to continue to play.
Because it's not too powerful, right? Like the room you can't be like, I need a way to defeat Voldemort. I need a way to defeat Voldemort. I need a way to defeat Voldemort. And then you're going to show up. It's going to be like, you figure it out, man. Like, I don't, give you like training stuff, but like you can't just do anything you want. So, and I think also, I thought about it this way, like Harry used it for the Dumbledore's army. So a ton of kids learned about it, right? It's no longer a secret. All those people, some died, right, in Battle of Hogwarts and like stuff, but like all these people, they all had kids. Those kids, they probably told them about the room requirement. The room requirement, everyone uses it to get to the Battle of Hogwarts. People learn about it there. So it like is no longer going to be like a secret thing.
No.
So I wonder, like, in future generations, I don't know if Cursed Child ever like addresses the room of requirement or anything, but like everyone would know about it. It wouldn't be a secret anymore.
It wouldn't. No, not at all. After I think this is one of the hypotheticals I wrote down. So they're in the room of requirement. They're in the room of hidden things, and then Fiendfire destroys surely everything that is in the room.
Yeah, all the centuries of detritus and other things that they describe. Yeah.
Does it do any damage to the room? Because as Harry exits, he questions like, will the room even function anymore? Obviously, we don't find out. And again, Cursed Child, I don't remember seeing or hearing anything about that. But
unsurprisingly, I have thoughts.
I would love to hear your thoughts.
One, yes, of course it's going to function, because the room itself is not like a physical room bound by space and time, the same way that the office I'm in my house is in. It is within Hogwarts, but it is like its own pocket dimension. It does not exist in the same physical plane. It can adapt its room to any size and shape and need of the physical universe that is occupied by the requirer, right? So the magic that is operating room of requirement, I believe, goes beyond caring about physical damage. Now, the items in there are wrecked for sure, right? But the magic of the room is it can be what you need it to be, right? Hogwarts is still standing, so like the overall magic of the school is there. And I feel like as long as you can unlock it by going past it or whatever, I don't think the room itself is bound by the physical universe and worrying about pillars and other things that got damaged. Like the room doesn't have pillars. It might have pillars and like things that hold it up and or ceiling. Does it? No, it doesn't have a floor and a ceiling, because what does the room look like? It's like Schrodinger's cat. There's some knowledge for you. Schrodinger's room requirement.
So
it both exists and does not exist.
When Harry is doing Defense Against the Dark Arts training, he's like just thinking to himself, he's like, man, I really need a whistle. And then a whistle appears and he grabs it.
In the exact spot he needs. It doesn't appear behind him somewhere that he's not going to find it, which would be funny. But
so Harry is in a room that, in theory, he's controlling. Like he has entered, and he is the need, and he is the needer.
Yeah.
And he, same thing for Neville. Neville thinks I am hungry, and then doesn't know the solution, and then a tunnel appears, and bam. Harry is in a room that is on fire, burning everyone and everything in there. Should some combatant of Fiendfire, should some sprinklers have started pouring down? Should the room have reacted to Harry's need to not die? I guess it gave him a broomstick. That it had already listed that there were broomsticks there, but should the room?
I think it gave him what he needed. I think it gave him what he needed. The Fiendfire had to destroy the Horcrux.
Yeah, but Harry didn't know that. But
I mean, I don't think that's an interesting, like, kind of like you can work yourself into a plot hole on that. I don't really think so.
Not
I
a
think
plot hole. I'm just
or
I haven't
just
thought
like
of
a
it till right
nitpick,
now.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I would settle on, I think, The Room. It has like the wisdom to give what is needed, right? Kind of like people talk about God, right? You know, your prayers are answered in many different ways. Maybe not the way you expect. So yeah, a whistle, you need a whistle, there's a whistle, right? But you know, you're in the battle for your life against Voldemort and Fiendfire and Crabbe, Goyle, and Malfoy. You know, the rooms, you know, and maybe, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there has to be a way to control and get rid of Fiendfire, right? But
nobody in that room knew how.
Maybe the room would be like, well, there's a book. You do it yourself. There's a book that tells you how. You know?
To that point, I mean, again, just listing all the facts that I could. I wrote down 13 things that appear in the room. I could ask it as a quiz question, but it feels aggressive. 13 things that appear in the room that aren't in the room of hidden things. And that's, I'll just list them quickly, unless you want to just take a go. And you have
No, I'll just go ahead and list them. I'm not going to.
So in the defense room, you know, it comes up with a bunch of defensive gadgets, sneakoscope, secrecy sensors, faux glass. And then it has cushions for when they fall over. And then it has it describes hundreds of defense against the dark arts books. At one point, it has a key to lock the door. Then the whistle appears. I hadn't thought of this till we started potting now either. When he walks in, or when Luna walks in during Christmas time, there's already mistletoe hung up. And then at the end, Harry's close with Cho, and then mistletoe is above his head. I always thought that the Room of Requirement made that mistletoe appear because that's what Harry needed to get some. But was the mistletoe already there? Because I didn't realize that it was already there until I reread it for this pod, that like it was there with Luna too, because he jumps.
Yeah, it's there, but who's to say it didn't? Like the room doesn't be like, hey, two lovebirds, you know, pop it out, make it appear there. That's a much more fun interpretation.
Oh, absolutely. Did it make it appear over Harry and Luna as well? Did it think like, I don't know who this boy wants? You know, he's just Randy all around.
No, I don't think. I don't think it did that. I think the room can read the vibe between Harry and Luna and know there's nothing there. That's what I think.
He loves Luna, though, differently. And then in the hideout, it creates hammocks, banners, broomsticks. I'm not sure why they needed broomsticks, but there was broomsticks in the hideout, so hopefully they were just flying around having fun. A large wooden cased wireless. Should we do a podcast on wireless and why wizards are copying crappy Muggle magic? And
there's I think there's stuff in like Pottermore about that, and that would be fun to talk about because I have lots of theories on what they would adapt the internet for, because they use Muggle inventions, plumbing, for example. They used to just vanish their poo, apparently.
True.
Well,
true.
Like there's got to be a wizard version of the internet that they can definitely be more involved in. You know, they could,
right?
You know.
Okay, well, this is another one of my hypotheticals. The last one that I didn't list was a passage to the Hog's Head, which we've already talked about. So those are the 13 things that appear in not the Room of Hidden Things, and not, I mean, that we see specifically. Other things are described, right? The cleaning supplies, blah, blah, blah. But, right, hundreds of books appear, and for when they just have the need of like, I need a place to do defense against the dark arts. I've asked you this before. I'm curious if you remember. But basically, like you already said, like you can't walk past 3 times. It's like, how do I defeat Lord Voldemort? And like some magical solution would appear. But like second task of the Triwizard Tournament, they walk past 3 times and say, I need a book that will teach me how to survive underwater for an hour.
And it would do that for sure. Yeah,
the book appears.
It would do that for sure. Oh, for sure. I think so. Because that's like, in retrospect, that's not that difficult of a thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, that's like a binary choice. Like, there's water. How do you breathe in it? Boom. Right? Like, Voldemort is a living, breathing, multifaceted person who's borderline immortal. Like, yeah, like there's a way, but there's not one way, you know, to like, Like the way Harry went about defeating Voldemort, he could have done a lot of different things. Now, in the end, it had to be him, but like every choice he made to lead up to it could have been a little different here, there, or the other. When they were hiding randomly, they could have hidden in one forest or another forest. It didn't matter. Like there wasn't like a set forest that they had to hide in for the one chain of events to happen. You know.
Well, let's test this out because I've got in this much needed book only ultimate unofficial Harry Potter trivia game, I've got some commentary. And one of them is if they just had Google, then most of our mysteries would have been solved. And you know, they wouldn't have spent hours in the library and there wouldn't be a whole mystery. So the first one is who is Nicholas Flamel? So based on what you just said, surely they could have walked past the room 3 times and said, find me a book that tells me about Nicholas Flamel, and it would have appeared because there are books with him in it. Like, right? Yeah. You feel good about that?
Yeah, for sure.
The second mystery is, I don't know, who opened the Chamber of Secrets / what is the monster / is the Chamber of Secrets real? I guess. I don't know if they could ask for a book. I don't know. I guess they could get the Room of Requirement to bring them Hogwarts of History, I guess. And it could give them that while Hermione doesn't have hers. But I don't think they could have solved that with the Room of Requirement. Do you?
No, I don't think so. I think that one was like, I don't think the room, like that was something that it was like actively happening. It wasn't like I don't think the room could just like magically solve like, you know, an ongoing issue like that. Like it could teach you and give you tools.
Highlighting it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it might do something like that. But again, like even if you know that, like I guess you have to like convince adults and what's really happening and all that. But yeah, I think that one probably, I don't think it would solve because, yeah, I don't think it would. I don't think so. I'm with you.
And then the third book mystery, I don't know. The third book mystery is like Sirius Black, and there's not really a mystery. I don't know. Remus is another mystery of like what happens to Lupin. I don't think the room could do that. But based on what we said, it could have solved like 2 of our 4 mysteries. Now, the 4th book mystery isn't how do you survive underwater, but I'm just saying the room could have helped a couple.
No, but also think about it like this. So in the 6th book, Draco has a problem of like, I need to get Death Eaters into Hogwarts, right? I need to defeat Dumbledore. It didn't just do that for him. Like, I guess it helped him with the Vanishing Cabinet, or like he had the cabinet in the Room of Hidden Things, right? And he probably discovered how it worked. Like, how am I going to fix this? How am I going to repair it? It could help him. But it didn't just be like, here's a spell, it's fixed, it's done.
Exactly.
Right? It didn't just be like, it's magically repaired. You know?
I had that as the 7th note. I was like, it's crazy that it took Malfoy an entire year to fix the cabinet while in a room that would summon anything he needs. Like, he could not have fixed that in a better place, and it still took him an entire year. Like, what the heck? How did he mend it? But anyways, no, that's a good point. That's a good point. Here's another one. Here's another, could the room do this? Could Harry have walked by it 3 times and said, give me a way to talk to Sirius? And would it have summoned a fireplace that is outside the scope of the Flu network that is being tracked by Umbridge?
That's a good question. I wonder about this. So I was thinking about, it created a tunnel to get to Aberforth, right?
Yes.
Maybe the room also like recognizes the nobility of the task at hand. You know, like the room itself is like fighting back. So it created that because they desperately did need it. And it was important to them. And it like kind of agreed with their mission, right? The other thing is, you know.
But Pansy Parkinson goes and gets evidence of the room. I mean, the room wasn't picking sides at that point, but like the room let Death Eaters into Hogwarts, and the room let Pansy Parkinson get the evidence.
No, the Vanishing Cabinet let Death Eaters into Hogwarts. The room didn't.
I'm just saying. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, but like it.
I think if Voldemort was hiding in the Room of Requirement and he was really hungry, it would have made that path to Aberforth. Well, I don't know if that's true because it sent him to Aberforth because Aberforth would like allow him to have food. It could have sent him to Honeydukes, but it didn't, because Honeydukes guy is probably not gonna take care of all these Hogwarts students. So I don't know. I guess I take that back.
Yeah, that's a deep mystery.
Well, this is in my list of hypotheticals of like, where did we miss out on using the room requirement? And the other ones were like, should every study session occur in there? Should like this be the study hall? Like every student goes in there and this is where you study. And if you have questions and thoughts, like the answers in books should appear to you. I don't know. But I think not everyone can like control the room of requirement, I feel like, right? Like,
yeah.
Like
I think it has like
every single one of them.
Yeah, it can help out like multiple people, but like, I don't know, like it has like limitations, I'm sure, of like, it'd be like if everyone's logged on to like they crash the server, you know what I mean? Like everyone goes onto the same website at the same time because they're buying Taylor Swift tickets and it crashes the server.
That happens in Ender's Game, where they have like, I can't remember the context, and maybe one of our 14 listeners is a huge Ender's Game fan, but like that happens where they like are in this like magical thing and they all have to think the same thing and they don't, and it doesn't work. And because like, again, they like break the server, if you will. So I could see that, but didn't we just talk about
Ender's Game that happens?
In Ender's Game, yeah. It's like, it's near the pig series when Ender actually splits into two different beings.
Yeah, you're past whatever I read. I was like, the actual book Ender's Game. I was like, no, there's nothing Ender's Game. But like that, yeah.
Series. Yeah.
Yeah.
Way out there. The other one I wrote down was, could you have like off the pitch, like Quidditch practice in there? I don't know. I couldn't think of like too many advantages.
Oh, for sure. I think you could.
Or just like real
indoor
practice in there.
Northern Scotland is very cold and miserable for most of the year. Like you could do like indoor practice.
They'd be soft though. Then they'd be the Miami Dolphins and just suck outside of Miami.
That's true. They couldn't. Yeah. Candy uniforms.
Exactly. Wouldn't work. That's an interesting thought.
Finesse.
Hufflepuffs would probably do that. Freaking weak. Okay. I've got more hypotheticals, obviously. I've also got my list of things in the Room of Hidden Things. That's not worth reading. But we've talked about this before. But as Harry is hiding his potions book in the Room of Hidden Things, he finds something in a cage and it's long dead, and it says that it had 5 legs. I believe that to be a Harry MacBoon, which is from Fantastic Beasts, where a family feud turned into one family transfiguring the other family into these 5-legged quintupeds called the Harry MacBoons. But they were so dangerous that the Harry MacBoons just ate the other family, and now there's just and they couldn't transform themselves back because they couldn't hold wands anymore. So now they're just monsters on this island. It's the only 5-legged creature that I'm aware of. I like to believe that a Harry MacBoon made its way to Hogwarts and
I think for sure that's like an Easter egg she put in there.
It's got to be,
because she'd already written Fantastic Beasts well before that.
This is late 6th book.
Yeah.
The only plot hole is like a Harry MacBoon should be humongous, but I don't know. They've evolved since then, and
maybe it was a child.
Exactly. Sad. I just think.
Or they shrunk it.
I remember asking you that as like a trivia question like a decade ago, but it was too obscure to like get you to get the right answer. It was hard to like zero in on what I'm actually asking.
I don't remember that. You asking me that. Unsurprisingly, that would not be something I remember.
It was too hard to be like, which magical creature did Harry find in the Room of Hidden Things? And I don't think I could get you to say it. Anyways, my last hypothetical was, if you could. Well, I have 2 more actually. If you could explore any of the known forms of the Room of Requirement, you can only visit one of them. Which one are you exploring?
I guess the Room of Hidden Things. There's just so much stuff that's been like hidden. It's just like artifacts from 1,000 years of rule breakers and crud and mess. Like it would be endlessly fascinating, like the headquarters for the Resistance in the 7th book wouldn't be that interesting. It would just be full of people and like hammocks and stuff there.
I feel
Definitely
like the only one that competes is a beautifully proportioned room containing a really rather magnificent collection of chamber pots. I want to know what the world's best bathroom looks like based on magic.
That would be nice. It'd probably be like full of like fancy Japanese toilets, but they're somehow easy to use.
Like magic.
I know, dude. My in-laws at their new house they're building, multiple bidets are going to be in there.
Wow.
I'm very excited to try out a bidet. Never used one. Anyway, that was poop talk.
Wasn't there one at like the Salt Lake Temple? Wasn't there one at like the Salt Lake Temple? Like outside of the solemn assembly?
We're going to have to cut this part because it's not for public consumption. But yes, there was, and it was in the solemn assembly room.
I definitely used that one.
Well, it was like adjacent to. It was not the solemn assembly room. It was used for. We're definitely have to cut this part. This is like really weird stuff for people. Right, but like the room that's like a chapel. I set up all the chairs in there one time. It's like a chapel up at one of the top floors. There's a bathroom up there.
Yeah.
And that room is like a gym. It's really weird.
It is. The hardwood is amazing. All I wanted to do was play basketball on it. It's the most beautiful hardwood I've ever seen.
All right, let's definitely cut that out. I don't want people listening to that.
Solid. All we gave was public facts. My hypotheticals keep going. I forgot how many I wrote down. But the room of requirements is just so ridiculous. How can I help it? I think you've already answered this, and I've already asked you this, and I feel like you've slightly already addressed it on this pod. But I, at one point, thought that like the room had to pull on other objects that were within its reach. And my first hint to that was like Harry recognizes the faux glass as Moody's. And like that was kind of my thought. It was like the books that it's pulling from, is it pulling from the actual library? And like is it like pulling from the room of hidden things? Like those were put in there and now it's at its disposal and it can use that kind of stuff. I don't think that's the case. I think it can create things magically. Again, it can't create food magically, but I kind of went down that theory. You took me off it several years ago, but I just wanted to throw it out there.
I think it does both. Like it can pull in items from the school maybe, or stuff that definitely is hidden in there. Like it could surface it, right? But
would it have summoned the sword of Gryffindor?
That's a good question. I mean, unless there's some kind of magic about the sword that doesn't allow it to be, unless it's by the.
I need something to destroy a Horcrux, and I know the sword of Gryffindor can. Walks by it 3 times. I don't know.
Or it would like give you a book about how to destroy it. Right?
Exactly.
Wizard Google would definitely save a lot of time. And someone would invent it. Someone would, because there's no way a Muggle-born who grew up in the 21st century would be like, you guys are wasting your time.
Exactly.
There's Google's mission statement is like to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible or something like that. Like that's like the mission statement of Google was like, to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. Right? Someone would be like, guys, we are wasting our time in this library. Like we can definitely magically digitize this and
it's ridiculous.
Talk to magic mirrors that will talk back to us and give us the answers we need in text form or something.
Seriously, right? Or put it all into a picture frame and talk to the picture frame. They could do so much better. A Riddle's diary that's got all the books in the world in it. I don't know. Absorb it. Mm-hmm. I mean, that would work, right? If you wrote down every single book into Riddle's diary would then have a book in every single book. Like, come on, guys. Voldemort needs to put all of his effort towards creating Google for wizards. Anyways,
if he wanted to, he could have taken over the wizard world economically if he did something like that.
This is very true. Could have put Meta Pence out of business. Okay, this is my last one, I promise. I read about this a little bit in my commentary guide for the third time. I'll flash this. Can you imagine? I'm sitting like right in front of me is like the playroom in my house. And what if you had a room of requirement in your house, and how cool would your life be if you could just walk by and be like, I need a bowling alley, and then I need movie theater, and then I need a spa, and then I need a tennis court, and
I need a clean kitchen because I don't feel like cleaning my own, and I just want to cook in a different one.
I need a fully well, can't create food, but yeah, I just need a ballin' kitchen. Like, really, it would be the only thing you need in your house. You'd need a little hallway to walk by it, but like, you wouldn't need a house. Just be like, okay, now I need my bedroom, and like,
well, until you have like a bunch of people in your house, like you can't.
They all just come out into the hallway with me, and then yeah, we walk by it, and then
I guess you could have the room turn into. I need you to turn into a giant mansion for my family.
Like, that's not a need. Yeah, I don't know, but it's fun to daydream about. Okay. Short of reading every single thing that's in the Room of Hidden Things, I think I've covered all of the research I did for the Room of Requirement.
Amazing piece of magic. Super cool.
It is. It is. Well, that's part 5 of our series. Like I said, next week we are off. But then we'll come back with The Pensive for part 6 of our series.
Woo-woo.
We're very excited for that. William, I don't technically have a Fred or George. I feel like I'm a little stuck because there was a couple good early scenes, and then there's not a lot in the middle of Fred and George in book 2, and I'm just kind of skipping to the end, and I'm just trying to find one in the middle. So in 2 weeks, I promise I will have a Fred or George, but I thought we could set ourselves up for another 20 questions if we wanted to do that. And I was thinking we could do something that's found in the Room of Requirement.
I've done some 20 questions, and there's some but I have to ask him again because depending on how you ask it, it may get it, it may not.
Right.
You know, I thought of one. Actually, can I suggest one? Because I have one that we can both try to get it.
Please.
So, dang it just lost my mind. What was I thinking? It was, well, chipolatas, which is what he's offering Derek in.
Foods. There's no way.
No, there's no way. Which I had to Google what chipolatas were, and they look great. They're just like little breakfast sausages. Well, not for breakfast specifically, but they're like just sausages. But like they're like, yeah.
One of the most ambitious questions I want to undertake is I want to ask a question like, name every food that Harry has ever eaten at Hogwarts. I went through and marked it. I've got like 100 listed, but I just know I don't have them all. But one day I will provide that.
One day.
Also, yeah. I'm skipping MJ versus Harry, so I don't know if we'll reorder this, but that's my bad. So I just forgot. My bad. Chipolatas, I will try, but can we have another one?
No, it's not good. That's too esoteric. It's too out there.
I mean, Room of Requirement, should we try to get like an elf nursing station, or, like a cleaning supplies closet, or a beautifully proportioned room containing a really magnificent collection of chamber pots? I don't know if it can get a form of the Room of Requirement. It'll probably
Prefect's bathroom. Prefect's bathroom.
I'm in for that. Pine Fresh.
Prefect's bathroom.
All right.
That's what we're going to test.
Prefect's bathroom. Ashley, you're the only one who cares about this segment. Let us know if you get it as well. She sent me a picture, a day after the pod dropped, and was like, "Did you get One-Eyed Humpbacked Witch?" And I was like, "Yeah, it was actually too easy." She's like, "Yeah, I agree." So, 3 of us are having fun doing this. Okay, well, let's pretend I didn't skip ahead, and let's get to still my favorite thing in the entire world. The real GOAT debate: MJ versus Harry Potter. We have already done 4 books and 4 years of Michael Jordan's incredible 8-year run. And right now we're on book 5, Order of the Phoenix, versus MJ's 1996 NBA basketball season. And I'm excited for this for a couple of reasons. It's going to be fun to talk about. We'll see if it's a debate on who wins. But William, are you ready to take us through Harry's resume?
I am ready. As always, I'm going to start here with the on the court / pitch section here of Harry. Here's like the highlights of his year. So house points, he was down 13 1/3, 13.3, according to your notes. Right.
That's correct. Well, we split it. 3 people lost 10 points, and it was combined, so he lost 3.3, and that's basically what happened.
Right. He is the house champion for the 4th time. 4th house championship. Quidditch record, a solid 1-0. But he did he was unfairly kicked out. I mean, this is a huge asterisk season. He got suspended. I'm trying to think of like a real world.
Michael Jordan, 1993, if you're a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, could be. Now, overall, though, like the highlights of the book, he's ignored by Dumbledore and not talked to for most of the year. He is completely physically and mentally tortured by Professor Umbridge, as well as haunted by dreams, where he's running through the locked corridor. He is feeling the anger and frustration of actual Lord Voldemort in his body and soul and mind. He forms and leads Dumbledore's army, which is a good thing. So he is growing as a man, as a human teacher. And so like he's growing into his power and strengths as a leader and a person. He has his first kiss with Cho Chang.
Speaking of growing as a man.
With Ho Chang. Because I don't know. I don't know. Ho Chang. I stand by it. Tricked by Lord Voldemort. Kind of the ultimate low. Voldemort tricks him, gets Sirius murdered. And at the end, he is finally revealed. This part is a win, I guess. He is fine. The whole picture is pretty much revealed to him about the prophecy and his destiny in life. So a lot of crap and terrible things combined with some pretty big victories. Victory, yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that's kind of the rundown of his year. Take it away for MJ.
All right.
A little less sour.
A little. I'm not sure there's going to be a debate here. I hope you have some Harry Potter takes here, but I know where I'm going at the end of this vote. Michael Jordan, again, came off a disappointing 1995, got beat by the Magic in the playoffs, and follows it up with statistically, historically, debatably the greatest season of all time in team sports. Maybe not in team sports, but certainly in the NBA, where he led the league in scoring yet again.
Thank you, Warriors, for choking and can't beating anybody.
Don't mean a thing without that ring. He got his 4th regular season MVP, his 4th finals MVP, and his 4th NBA championship. He led the Bulls to win 72 games, which is at the time was the record. Again, as William mentioned, the 73-9 failures. I mean, Warriors lost in 7 games to LeBron James, thanks to the NBA
suspending Draymond for overreacting.
Fixed. So, anyways, so we went 72-10.
See, Adam Silver, dirtbag.
He went 15-3 in the playoffs, and ultimately should have gone 15-1. But if you listen to the puff piece of The Last Dance, he was going through a lot emotionally, and playing on Father's Day and didn't play his best for 2 games in a row against the Sonics. It has nothing to do with Gary Payton playing defense on him. So anyways, despite losing 2 in a row to the Sonics, still has the greatest winning season in the history of basketball. He gets revenge on the Orlando Magic. He sweeps them in 4 games in the playoffs, ultimately blowing up the Orlando Magic and sending Shaq to the Lakers and Penny to, I don't know what happened to Penny after that. Ultimately, we found out he was a failure and will never be Michael Jordan, and really ended his career. Also,
now he coaches Memphis and will probably get fired, or maybe he did already get fired. I forget.
Maybe he'll get arrested next week for gambling. Who knows? And also, I think this is actually pretty huge on the list, even if he didn't have the greatest season of all time. He also filmed and released the iconic movie Space Jam, which shows that he is the GOAT both on Earth and in space. And just hilarious that LeBron tried to copy him and make a crappy version of it, and LeBron sucks, and I hate him.
Never seen it, never will. I will not let my children watch it either, by the way. I'll let them watch Space Jam. I will not let them watch Space Jam.
They think it's a great movie. They know that there is a new Space Jam, and they know that they will never watch it. And they also know that I want to watch it, but I want to watch it illegally so that I'm actually stealing from LeBron and anyone.
I can help with that. The quick side note about us sipping on Haterade all the time. We were watching sports on Saturday with my kids, and one of my youngest, one of the twins, they always ask me, which team are you rooting for? And a lot of times I'm like, I don't care. I don't care about these teams, right?
Right.
And well, this was the other day. We were watching the NBA, so it would have been like the Thunder versus the Rockets.
Opening night.
And there's something with the Lakers popped up, and my oldest boo Lakers, and then my youngest was like, it's not nice to boo people. And I was like, it's actually okay to. Then my oldest goes, it's okay to boo the Lakers. And we were explaining, no, yeah, you can boo the Lakers, totally fine. And then my oldest also says, and Duke, and Alabama. And I was like, yeah, there's a lot of people it's okay to boo. I regret nothing. I stand by that. I think it's fine to boo people, teams. Not showing up at their house, calling them terrible people. I'll let God decide that. But boo the Lakers. They don't deserve happiness.
I'll add one thing to that is, some of my former colleagues, they found out it was a whole thing, found out when my birthday was, and gave me some birthday presents. And one of them gave me a LeBron bobblehead as a joke, knowing that, I don't really like LeBron. And I brought it home for my kids and this is funny. They can have it on their desk. And I can't remember who did it. I don't know if it was Remy or Maisie, but they found the bobblehead and said, what is Lord Loserface doing here? Which is what we call LeBron in our house, Lord Loserface, and then dropped it on the ground and it broke and exploded. And that was the end. It lasted 4 seconds in their room.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
You should be proud.
Pretty exciting stuff. William, do you have any defense for Harry winning this year? Any pitch you want to make?
No, I don't have a pitch I want to make. I will just say that it is impressive that everyone has to have a low. There has to be a low point in every hero's journey. And the fact that he can overcome this low is impressive. So it had to be here. He had to take a bunch of L's. He took them. He grew, he learned, but it was an L. It was an L of a year. I defend the book. I love that book. I would not consider it one of the lesser books in any way. We'll talk about that another time. But there's no way. I mean, he is personally responsible for his godfather being killed.
Yes.
It's not in a criminal liability way, but just he was a foolish child. He got tricked. And his godfather died.
You laid it out.
It's awful, but
it is. You laid it out in the first year where we were talking about Michael Jordan's kind of hit his mountain, climbed his mountain, and Harry doesn't even know what his mountain to climb is. He knows now what his mountain to climb is. He doesn't fully understand it, but he knows what the mountain is. It is.
Yeah, because literally at the end of the book, revealing, I'm going to tell you everything, and they tell him, and then
it is me versus Voldemort, and he steps up to that challenge, and he doesn't back away, and it is a win for him. This is his growth year more than anything, and he manifests a lot of that more in the 6th book than he does. We don't have a ton of time
for sure
after he hits that growth, but yeah, he hits manhood in this. He in multiple ways, and I don't know. It's an incredible year, but Michael Jordan had the greatest basketball season of all time and released the greatest sports movie of all time. Okay, that's not true. Maybe we could do a 7-part series on that. I know Space Jam isn't the greatest sports movie of all time, but it is to me. To me, this is really the only year that this is just like, this is what it is. Like, Harry's low is too low. Like, MJ's low came before this. Again, we kind of split up his dad dying and then his baseball season. So his low is kind of spread over 2 years. But Harry also has lows during that time, and so it's not clear cut. But this is the one year. Like, 1996 is the only year where, like, I'm not going to change my mind. Michael Jordan is
right.
I would say the other 4 years, like,
you can make debates. I think you can make reasonable debates. I did have one question though. Like, if at the end of this book, Umbridge gets carried off by a herd of centaurs into the forest. If MJ could pick one person to just send off into the forest with an angry herd of centaurs and get rid of them, who would he get rid of? Who is his Umbridge that he would kick out for that?
Jerry Krause.
Jerry Krause? Yeah, it looks like Umbridge too. Could be Umbridge's brother.
Yeah, it's got to be Jerry Krause. If Jerry Krause was carried off into the Forbidden Forest with centaurs, Michael Jordan would have had 7 championships. So,
there you go.
1999, he would have played, and Phil Jackson would have been there, and they'd win in that lockout year. Sorry, Timmy.
Oh yeah, probably.
I don't know if that's true, but again, The Last Dance kind of gave me that
lockout year is weird.
Really, yeah, I mean,
I'm trying to think, like
MJ was saying he was going to come back until he cut his finger, and then it was like, nah, I can't play. Like, things I didn't know before The Last Dance.
That's a good question. I'm trying to think. Like, the Bulls would definitely be favored against that Spurs team.
I mean, what, they got Luke Longley and Dennis Rodman a year older.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, the Twin Towers, like, that's some size that the Bulls would have to deal with. That's not easy.
Right. We've seen David Robinson stare down Michael Jordan eye to eye. So I don't know. He's not scared.
Right. But yeah, that would be a fascinating thing. But yeah, they would not be favored for sure. But no.
The 98 Bulls were very old. Like, I don't know. 98 Bulls would have been ancient. But
that's true. I think the problems would have been less. Like, Jordan and Pippen would be fine because, like, Jordan was a freak, right? Like, physically, and he'd be fine. But like Rodman was older than them, right? And sneaky old. So, you know.
Well, that ends year 5 of our GOAT debate. We'll have 2 more, and I can't wait to make a final decision because I don't know who wins. I don't know who wins the whole thing. I know you're not on TikTok. Most of the commentary on TikTok, there's been some funny ones, but a lot of it has been like, Michael Jordan is a grown man and he wasn't defeating the Dark Lord at age 11. And I'm like, yeah,
duh. That's lazy.
Yeah.
I need better.
I was like, yes, but we're just comparing a 7-year career and a 7-year career. And unfortunately, like, Harry's career starts when he's 11. There's nothing I can do about that. So I don't think that gives him an advantage because he was younger. But anyways,
I take that.
I love this. Okay. Well, again, I ruined this and missed our closing segment. So I guess we've already done that. So any closing words for us, William?
This is the joy of a lifetime. I absolutely love it. Can't wait to do it again.
Well said. Let's see how we do with a week off and just how horrible we feel. Maybe next pod we list. No, we shouldn't do that. I was going to say we list the ideas we have for our next series, and then have basically our sisters vote on what we do next, because I don't know who else would vote.
Right.
But we should just make our own decisions. Actually, this is not a dictator. I mean, this is not a democracy. Like, because no one listens, we can do whatever we want, which is pretty exciting. So
Herman Boone said that. This is not a democracy.
This is a dictatorship. I love that. I love that line. Great movie. Okay. Anything else? Podcasting is fun, sir?
It is fun. We've been going for what, an hour 30 maybe? I don't know.
Yep, hour 24. Pretty good.
Not bad. That's tight. That's keeping it tight.
I agree. Well, I got confused when I forgot about MJ versus Harry, and I was like, how are we at an hour 9 and we're done? I don't know what happened. But here we are. So, all right. Go Wizards. Go Wembanyama. Go FBI.
Wembanyama said he would be a Slytherin, by the way. That's something he said before.
I remember that. He put a...
I love him so much.
Daniel Radcliffe.
My favorite thing ever. Him sitting next to Daniel Radcliffe and Tina Fey sitting off on the edge looking at them weird side-eyed. It's the most random trio I've ever seen. Tina Fey has met Victor Wembanyama. I love Tina Fey too. Spurs
come to Charlotte Saturday, January 30th. And it's a Saturday.
If you can, you should definitely go. It's not, I'm telling you.
The question is,
it's otherworldly to see him in person. And
is he going to play against Charlotte?
Is he going to play?
Charlotte is just such a crappy city.
I mean,
everyone takes it off.
Okay, but like, think about it this way. If he's still, like, he's not going to score 40-15 every night, but he's going to be the defensive player of the year. And I don't know, if he averages 25 and 12 and 3.5 blocks a game, is he the MVP if we're above 500?
He should be. Well, I don't know. Jokic and SGA will have something to say about that.
I know. But like, his being the defensive player of the year, I don't know. I'm just saying, there's a theoretical world where he could. I mean, yeah, there's a theoretical world. So like, if my point is if the Spurs actually are fine, like, okay, we're not that good, but we're good enough, and they're winning games, they're above 500, and he legit has a shot to be the MVP, they're not going to sit him out for no reason as much as possible.
That's true.
That's all.
It'll be pre-All-Star break. He's about to have a break, so let him play.
Yeah.
Is Stephon Castle going to win Defensive Player of the Year? I feel like he had like...
Oh my gosh, he was filthy last night. Absolutely filthy.
Such an athlete. Ridiculous. Who's the other guy who looks just like Stephon Castle?
It's like Devin Vassell.
One of
them they have the same hair. They have the exact same hair, so it's a problem. I know. You can't. They have the exact same hair. They need to change it up.
Ridiculous. Okay. Cassie never cuts out the end. I always think she's going to cut it out. She's like, I don't care if things are boring, only if things are inappropriate. So if you're going to be boring, then stop it. So here we are.
I love Wembanyama. I can't say that enough. All right, we got to end the pod.
I love you.
All right, love you too.